What's the collab we're getting? Another Le Seraphim collab? Oh! 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 I'm losing it. I'm losing it! All right, everybody. We have just gotten the Overwatch 2 spotlight. I watched it. I recorded some of my reactions to it. I might sprinkle some of those in there as I'm getting through this video. But yeah, we got our announcement for the Overwatch 2 spotlight. Well, not the announcement. We got the news, all of the announcements from it, I guess. So here's the blog post. It'll be linked in the description. Of course, there's also the video itself. I'll link that as well if you want to watch that. It shows you a little bit more. But today, I just wanted to go through this article and talk a bit about it because, my God, was it crazy the amount of stuff we got. Literally crazy. And we'll talk about more of that anyway. The biggest thing that they talked about was perks, which they say here, coming with Season 15 launches, or coming when Season 15 launches on February 18th, is a significant innovation to core gameplay of Overwatch perks. These hero-specific bonuses level up gameplay, allowing you to customize your strategies like never before. You'll be able to choose from different upgrades to your hero's kit, creating new options to either cement your team's victory or to turn the tide away from a potential defeat. Throughout the match, you'll level up your hero 2 times. The first level up is a choice between 2 minor perks that are lighter upgrades, just small passives or cooldown reductions. For example, Torbjorn will have the choice between his Forge Hammer restoring the armor health of your teammates or refilling Rivet Gun's ammo when activating Overload. Major perks are gameplay shifting changes and redefining what your hero is capable of. Torbjorn will be able to choose from anchoring your turrets to walls and ceilings, or a more powerful level 3 turret. Both options give you new strategies to dominate the match. The Overwatch 2 Spotlight showcases even more examples of how perks will be changing the very core of how you approach Overwatch 2 when they become available in both competitive and quick play, starting in Season 15, and we'll have more details in the coming days. So, this they did not talk about. That's going to be available in quick play as well as competitive. I will say this is the biggest change I think they announced. Biggest change they announced. They announced some other things like Stadium. We'll talk about that in a second. But to stick with the perks for a second, I have very mixed feelings on perks. Because on one end, I do like the fact that they are doing a little more to diversify what you can do and how to make heroes feel a little bit better in your hands. And you can play heroes more the way you want to play them, which I think is interesting. That, you know, that's more stuff like you get with like League of Legends and you get MOBAs where you have more, you just have the one map, and so it's, you're playing the same champion game after game after game. Like, you want to make those changes because it's the same map, and so there are things that you need to kind of do to like break up the flow of the game, and maybe you want to try a new build and all that kind of stuff. And there's only 4 perks per character. 1 level 1 perk and 1 level 2 perk, or 1 minor perk, 1 major perk. And so you don't have a ton of options available to you. There's 4 different combinations that you can have. Minor 1, minor 1 and major 2, minor 1 and major 1, minor 2, major 1, minor 2, major 2, whatever. So there's only so many different things you can change for it. So it's interesting. I don't know. I think and we'll get more into this with some other things. They're adding a lot of things that I think in theory could be interesting. Depending on how many of them they have at the same time, the game might get a little too bloated. And I do have a bit of a concern about that. But I want to see the perks in action before I get a full, analysis, I want to actually try them out and see what they're like before I'm ready to just go these are bad or these are good. My initial reaction is a little bit hesitant just because it's the kind of thing where I don't think it'll take that long to learn what characters are able to do and to steal the perks. But when a new hero is going to come out, and we'll talk about that too. And then you're going to have to find out what all their perks are, right? So you're like, here's this hero that I don't even know what they do normally. Now to figure out what their perks are on top of that. It's the kind of thing that feels a little like it will make the learning curve of the game, I think, significantly higher. And that's something that I'm a little concerned about for a game that I feel like is already kind of not doing the best job at retaining players as much and bringing in new players. I feel like this could be a bit of a challenge for that, but we'll see. I don't know. Next is Stadium. You can see it here. Launching in Season 16 in April, Stadium is the biggest game mode we've ever made. In fact, this is more than just a game mode. It is an entirely new way to experience Overwatch. In Stadium's Best of 7 system, you'll earn in-game Stadium coins each round to unlock and customize abilities for your heroes. These powerful upgrades will be able to alter your survivability and damage while even completely revamping your hero's abilities. Stadium is packed with transformative powers and strategic encounters that enhance the hero fantasy beyond anything we've released. Focus on letting you play how you want. So they kind of go into some of the stuff here. Rhino flying through the air, charge behind the enemy line before unleashing a lava spreading fire strike, all these things. And you can see here the traits that you can get from it. To help you navigate all these new features, Stadium offers a revamped user interface, intuitive icons, and incredible visual effects. You'll be able to seamlessly review, buy, and sell your mods, as well as see the builds on the opposing team and maximize your strategy round to round. There will be at least 14 core heroes when Stadium launches. They'll add more heroes, new maps, and modes, and all while reviewing your feedback to help ensure the best evolution of Stadium. So you get these mods that you can use to kind of put things in. I didn't fully read everything. Beyond amazing new abilities that come together in the Ultimate Hero builds, Stadium also includes the option to choose how you play in either first-person or entirely new third-person perspective. In third person, you'll be able to see more of the battlefield and the direct impact your upgraded abilities and those of your teammates and enemies have in action, such as the lava trail left behind your D.Va mech while you fly through a map. So I got a little something to tell you guys. I kind of knew about this Stadium mode. I didn't know exactly what it was, so I didn't know what to expect from the mode, but I did know that we were going to be getting some kind of new mode like this, not like a push or a clash or something like that, where it was just like a new core game mode that gets added like the competitive rotation. I was aware that we were getting something along these lines of like a new experience within Overwatch, as opposed to just like a new competitive queue kind of mode. So I knew we were getting something. I didn't know the details beyond that. So this is an interesting thing to see. It's the kind of thing I'll certainly try out. I'll certainly play it occasionally, see what it's like. It's very interesting to kind of see that we're getting like a new way to play the game. They definitely are trying to, at the very least, like I said, I'm not huge into the idea of perks, and there's some other things I'm not huge into the idea of, and I'll talk about those when we get there. Stadium looks like it could be interesting. Maybe I don't play it a lot, but I do like that they are being very clear and being forward and taking initiative in adding new things and making changes to the game as it is currently. They are very clearly doing everything in their power to actually make the game better and to add things to the game to keep people interested in playing the game, which I think is a very big deal and is a good thing to see. So adding this mode that does let you kind of go a little crazy and do whatever you want and make the characters play a little bit differently, but not making it a part of like the main competitive circuit, while also having something like perks, which lets you have some customization to your heroes and lets you make some tweaks to them, and it's in competitive, but isn't kind of overboard and making the game kind of a absolute crazy, like you don't even know what you're doing kind of thing like you can do here in Stadium. Is a nice kind of way to kind of have those different things. obviously the original PvE talents. People were like, will we ever get to do that in-game and whatnot? And we've seen that they've been doing these kind of quick play hacks and things where they were doing whatever that other mode was with like the perks that you could pick in Control, like as you went each round, whatever mode that was. We're seeing that they're adding these things as tests and to see how people feel about them and to get information on them so they can improve upon them. So those things are, I'm catching on to you, Blizzard, with what you're doing. So this will be an interesting mode to see. Like I said, I don't know if it'll be my favorite mode. I don't know if I'll play it a lot, but it's different and it's interesting, and that is pretty fun and cool to see. And I won't judge Stadium too hard because it is a separate thing. I like the idea of them taking these big swings in adding new ways to play the game so that you can do things other than just play the standard competitive maps and the standard competitive mode. And they're doing things to make the game more all-encompassing so that there are other things to do. That's a big part of why I like the Hero Mastery courses, because I don't play the Hero Mastery courses a lot, but every so often I will go and I will just start grinding a Hero Mastery course because I want to complete the Hero Mastery courses. I think they're fun. It's really cool, especially when like they add a hero that I really like. So when they added the Brig Hero Mastery course, I was like, I want a 5-star every single one of these. I want to try to get the most points I can, and that was a really fun way to kind of spend an afternoon kind of improving on the map, learning the kind of things they did. And so I like them adding on to the game by adding new features and adding new modes that are more than just like arcade games, but are bigger and can add just a different way to experience the game, which is really nice. But of course, we can't talk about Overwatch without talking about the heroes. And we got the announcement of 2 new heroes during this game, or during this showcase. The first one is Freya, the newest addition. She is a former search and rescue operative turned bounty hunter. She brings a new dynamic to the game with her explosive crossbow and unique abilities. You can expect a challenging and rewarding experience as she requires precision and a steady aim to master. I think she looks awesome. I am really excited for her. I like her design a lot. I also think her kit looks really fun. I've been wanting a crossbow wielding character for a while. Kind of similar to this, like crossbow with the wrist mounted thing there. It's a little bit different than what I would have imagined in my head for a hero, but I still think it looks really cool, which is fine. You can see some of her abilities, and I'll put some of the gameplay they showed off in the showcase over top of this so you can kind of see it. But you can unload a flurry of rapid fire bolts with her rev draw crossbow to keep the pressure on your enemies. Slow it down with take aim to line up the perfect shot and fire a high-speed explosive bolt that'll turn targets into fireworks. Quick dash in any direction to reload your explosive bolt and leave your enemies in the dust. Launch yourself sky high with an updraft of wind. Catch those rooftop campers or get a bird's eye view before you strike. And finally, snag an enemy with an explosive bola shot. Wrap them up and pull in their unlucky teammates for the ultimate combo play. I believe that is her ultimate ability. Freya will join Overwatch 2 in Season 16, but you'll get a taste of her kit during a free trial weekend later in Season 15, as they've been doing. Then we also got the announcement of Hero 44, currently codenamed Aqua. Aqua is a Chinese hero wielding water-based abilities that can manipulate the battlefield with an innovative playstyle. And they will reveal more details on Aqua ahead of his release in Season 18. Now we can get into some of the things that we knew a little bit more about, and so I don't need to spend as much time on each of these. But of course we knew Season 15 would be the beginning of a new competitive year, not just competitive season, but a new competitive year in general. And we'll get new galactic weapons, which I think look very, very nice. I'm a huge fan of the way these look. Designed to give players the power of the stars. We're also getting competitive rank weapon charms and some new player portraits, allowing you to display your skills in and out of matches. Of course, we got the announcement of Overwatch Classic GOATs, which we already knew we were getting when they announced Overwatch Classic the first time they talked about GOATs being a thing, so we kind of knew. The other thing we didn't know was coming, which was very interesting, is that Season 15 also features the return of loot boxes. For some reason, they're just bringing them back. And As they say here, you will be able to earn a variety of cosmetics when collecting loot boxes. They will be available from weekly and event rewards, as well as earning 1 legendary loot box in the free battle pass and an additional 2 legendary loot boxes in the premium battle pass. When opening loot boxes, you want to be transparent in your chances of getting various types of cosmetics. In addition to the below drop rates, to ensure you always have a chance to receive some truly great items, we are guaranteeing that a rare or better item will drop in every single box, with an epic item within 5 consecutive boxes and a legendary item within 20 consecutive boxes. I want to say that was already the case in the original Overwatch loot boxes. I want to say that there was always, like, there was a certain amount of time you would always get a legendary item. But they have the numbers here, as you can see. For loot boxes, it's 5.1% for legendary, 21.93 for epic, 96.26 for rare, 97.97 for common. And legendary, it's all the same numbers except for a 100% chance of getting a legendary item. So if you have the free battle pass, you are guaranteed to get 1 legendary item from your loot boxes. They make it seem like you can't buy loot boxes. And they did say that there's going to be more on Season 15 when the launch blog is released. But if this is the way that they're doing loot boxes, I hope that you can't buy them, because that was obviously the problem. But I do like the idea that if you have the battle pass, you'll get 1 legendary item, a random legendary item every single season, or 3 if you have that. I don't know if they'll do the thing like they did in the past, where if you got like a duplicate item, you would get coins. There's no information on that, but if you are an Overwatch 2 only player and never experienced loot boxes, I actually liked the loot box system in Overwatch. I thought it was a pretty good one. You could buy them, but you got them for free so easily. Like, so many streamers had so many by the end of the game that they were literally, like, they would just go on the game and they would have like 500 loot boxes. It was something ridiculous. So I thought Overwatch's loot box system was always very good and very kind. You got stuff pretty frequently that made it pretty nice. Beyond Season 15, I really love that they buried maybe the 2 biggest things here in this Beyond Season 15. They say here, after Season 15, various new systems will be introduced to further improve everyone's experience with Overwatch 2. In Season 16, we'll implement hero bans in competitive. And later this year, there will also be a new map voting system to allow you a voice in where your matches take place, giving you agency in determining where your team battles for victory. Hero bans target strong or frustrating heroes, while map voting lets players choose their preferred maps, adding a new layer of strategy to the game. These are just a few of the many systems being worked on, and we can't wait to share more details with you soon. I don't want to spend too much time talking about hero bans, because obviously hero bans have been a major talking point in the game for a long time. So to keep my opinion brief, I don't like the idea of hero bans in competitive, at least not at all levels of competitive. I'd be more okay with it in like Masters and above or GM and above. I just think like low level games, you're just going to get the same, like you're just going to get like Junkrat and stuff targeted. You're not going to get like actually meaningful bans. And part of why I am opposed to hero bans in Overwatch, and obviously I could be wrong, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm 100% right. But in a game like, with a game that gets compared to the most with the ban system, I know Marvel Rivals has it. I haven't experienced Marvel Rivals' ban system. But people talk about it in League of Legends all the time. But my thing with League of Legends is the difference between Overwatch and League of Legends is that Overwatch naturally gives you differences in gameplay by the fact that you can change your heroes and there's different maps and different map types. And so you're not playing King's Row every single time you play Overwatch. You're playing King's Row some of the games. You're playing Colosseo some other games. You're playing, Watchpoint Gibraltar some other games. And so you're getting different experiences in that way. Plus you have the ability to change your heroes and all that kind of stuff. So when I look at a game like League of Legends where it's just Summoner's Rift and this gameplay is the same loop every single game, having those things, especially in something like an esport, where if you go into if there's an esports game going on and one of the teams is getting totally destroyed the first game and then they can't do anything to change the second game, you understand why you have those things in place. I don't feel like it's as necessary in Overwatch. I'm okay with it in esports because you have the same teams playing multiple maps in a row, and so there isn't a level of kind of change there. But the issue I see happening in competitive play is that you're just going to get this, like, if people are just like, I don't like Malga. People are just going to ban Malga every game, and you might have people who like playing Malga, and now they can't play Malga, or like Juno's going to get banned every game, or whoever gets banned every game. And people are going to be frustrated because they play a character that just keeps getting banned, regardless of map. And I think that is why I don't love the system. I do like the map voting system. I have a concern about it getting to a point where it is just Kings Row every single game. And people, like, Kings Row is a great map. I don't want to play Kings Row 30 times in a row. I would like to play more maps than just Kings Row. And so I think those are the things that I'm a little bit more concerned by. Though I imagine with a map voting system, like, it's not just everyone picking, you have a chance of playing the maps that are quite frequent. And so we'll see how things change. But I think that these are two things that, while I like the map voting system more than the hero bans, you pair these with the perks, it's so much stuff to add into the game. And they're not all adding them at once, obviously, right? Perks coming Season 15. Season 16 is when hero bans are coming. And then after that, we're getting the map voting. This is a lot of stuff to put in to the game at the same time, which to me is kind of a lot. And that's where I think my biggest concern really comes in. And so we'll see how they kind of roll these out and how they work as we get them. But I'm not hugely in love with a lot of the competitive changes that they're making. I don't play a lot of competitive. And part of why I don't play competitive is just because of factors that I don't think these will help. I apologize. My recording got interrupted, but I'm back, and I will close the hero bans whatnot topic just by saying I'll wait to judge it fully until we see it, because as much as I think it's interesting, and I don't love it, I am open to being proven wrong to the overall look. But they talked about cosmetics a lot. I'm not going to go fully into detail on them here. I know you all don't want to hear me give my thoughts on all the cosmetics one by one. I think they look really cool, though. I like them a lot, and they're awesome. And look at this. Biggest news we got. The return of Le Seraphim in Season 15. We are so back, everybody. Things are going to be better than ever before because we're getting another Le Seraphim collab. Oh boy. Oh boy. We're back. It's about to go crazy with Le Seraphim. So, overall, I thought this was a very interesting spotlight. I thought there was a lot of cool stuff. Like, look, I think Freya looks awesome. She looks like she's a sick hero. Waterboy looks cool. Aqua looks cool too. There's a lot of things I'm really interested to kind of see how it goes. I really do, at the end of the day, as I said, whether or not I love some of these changes, I think is less important than just acknowledging the fact that they are doing a lot to make changes to the game. And they are not being, just sedentary, and they're actually actively doing things to improve the game. When I think back to 2020 and 2021 and just how dead in the water the game was, and how nothing was happening, they weren't adding anything, they weren't changing anything, it was so minor all the time, and it was like crossplay was like the biggest announcement that had ever happened in the world. It was things like that like I look back on it now and I'm like, if that version of me knew that this thing was happening, they would punch me in the face. They would look me square in the eyes and go, why are you complaining about new content when we had a period of time where there was literally no new content being added to the game. So I'm very happy about that, at the very least, that we're getting new stuff and we're getting a game that is evolving and changing. And maybe some of the stuff doesn't work, and maybe they implement perks, and maybe they're bad, and maybe they decide in Season 16 we're going to get rid of the perks, or maybe they add the perks in Season 15 and they're amazing and they're awesome and they make the game better and more enjoyable, and we keep them going forward. I am just glad that they are willing to make those risks, that they're willing to do these things and try new things, because they understand that there is something to gain from it. And that, to me, is one of the things that I'm most excited about with this. And I'm very interested to see where things are going as we progress into the future of Overwatch 2. So let me know your thoughts on anything from the Spotlight in the comments down below. Things you liked, things you didn't like as much. I am very excited for a lot of these things. I'm skeptical about some of these things, but I'm hopeful that they will all be to serve a better game when all is said and done. So if there's anything I didn't really talk about in this video that you have thoughts on as well, leave that in the comments down below. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in here. I couldn't cover all of it in detail in this video. Obviously, there was a lot of stuff about the esports, but we've talked about that at length on this channel, so I figured you guys don't need to hear my opinions on that. But that's going to be all for me for today for this video. If you enjoyed and want more like it in the future, consider liking and subscribing. Your support, as always, is very much appreciated. So, once again, thank you. I hope you're all staying safe, staying healthy. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And until next time, bye-bye.